So what is the role of a personal trainer? Well, if you were to survey 100 people and ask them that question, they'd probably say something like, well, a personal trainer will help you to lose weight, they'll give you a diet plan, an exercise plan, and give you some motivation. And as a consequence of that, what's happened in the personal training space is personal trainers have stepped into that role. So we now have lots of copy and paste personal trainers who are all behaving exactly the same. Problem is, you're probably here right now thinking, well, actually, I don't want to be like a copy and paste personal trainer. A, because it doesn't feel authentic to me. I think I can offer a bit more. But also, being a copy and paste personal trainer makes it more difficult for you to stand out as a personal trainer. And as a consequence of that, makes it difficult for you to have a career, certainly a long-term career, as a personal trainer. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I personally broke that mold of the typical stereotypical personal trainer, and how hopefully you can learn from that, take some of my ideas, experiences, and maybe incorporate that into your business so that you can move away from being that typical copy and paste personal trainer. So let's just wind the clock back to when I first started out as a PT. I started out way back in the early 2000s, and back then PTs were seen as people that were only hired by millionaires or mega wealthy people. Well, thankfully that's changed now, and you have people on low income actually employing personal trainers, which is a good thing. But even back then, the perception was pretty much as it is now today. And I accepted that role to begin with, like PTs do today. But at a certain point, I became uncomfortable with that role because I felt as though I had a little bit more to offer as a personal trainer. I was in my 40s. I was an ex-physical trainer in the army, had a lot of experience from that, and I felt as though I could bring something extra to the party, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do that. Again, long story short, I was studying for a degree at the time in sports rehabilitation, which I thankfully passed. But as part of that rehab course, that degree course, I wrote a 3,000 word essay on weight loss. And one of the things that came out of that research that I did into writing that essay was the fact a lot of women who went to groups like Weight Watchers, Slimming World and similar groups had a lot of success. And a couple of the reasons they attributed that to was, one, it was the accountability, the weekly turning up and the weigh-in, which I know we can offer as personal trainers. But the other part, which was equally as important, and if not even more important, was the ability for people to be able to sit there and speak, share stories, ideas, insights, how they'd overcome certain challenges that maybe they were having and maybe somebody could help them overcome. So just having that ability to vocalize something made those programs highly successful. Whether you like that or not, that just was the case with a lot of these groups and still remains to be the case today. So knowing that, understanding that, I then started to develop and refine my PT business. And what I decided to do was offer dedicated sit-down coaching sessions. So if a client said they were going to come and see me twice a week, when I did the consultation, I would say to them, you'd be seeing me twice a week. One session is going to be physical training. That's what they expected. That was a perception. But the other session is going to be a sit-down coaching session where I've got a particular topic. We're going to sit down. I've got a flip chart. You've got a journal, your client journal, where you'll be making notes. And I've got my notes. And then at the end of the session, you'll also be given some homework as well. So some real-time activity during the coaching session, but also you'll be given some homework at the end that you can take away, try and implement, and then come back and report back to me how you got on. Now, there's one big barrier to me launching this as a service. You know what that big barrier was? It was my fear that people would not want to buy into this type of service. Why? Because of their perception of what a personal trainer offered. Long story short, I offered it, it became successful. Wind the clock forwards, over a decade later, I was offering this in commercial gyms, got busy enough to have the confidence to be able to open up my own personal training studio. Again, got busier. That busy that I had a waiting list, so I then took on my first staff member. Now, interestingly enough, the first guy that I took on to work with me delivering my service, I must have interviewed over 8, maybe 10 PTs. And out of the 8, 9, 10 PTs that I interviewed that I said no to, the reason I said no 9 times out of 10 was because they did not agree with this sit-down coaching method. They just thought it was all about training. Fine, if that's how you want to do it, great, but I do it this way. So I took a chap on. He was getting results like me and some better results sometimes than I was getting, which was fantastic because it meant to me that A, I could replicate myself, but B, it also proved the point that mindset coaching as part of the physical aspect and the nutritional aspect was the way to go, which is brilliant. I was then able to go on and build a small team of PTs and had what I consider to be a successful in-person personal training studio. Over a period of years, I decided to change my model a little bit, and I decided to make some amendments, which meant I went down to a smaller studio, and it was just me working in that studio, which was fantastic. And I was right at the point whereby I was going to step back into what I do now, in part, which is coaching PTs. And then guess what happened? 2020 happened. So, as you know, we all closed down. But there's some good news for me here, and hopefully good news for you, and how this may help you not only today but possibly in the future, depending on what happens, because nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. I was able to transition online almost effortlessly. Why? Because I took what I was doing in person, those coaching sessions, and simply moved it online. So instead of people having to come in and be coached, I just sent them the journals and we jumped on Zoom and I coached them over Zoom. I recorded some exercises that I uploaded onto a platform that they could access, and we could have feedback on that, and I could progress them based on what I'd shown them in terms of recorded exercises. But the coaching part of it was easy. We just did it over Zoom. So I'd done the coaching for over a decade offline. I moved online. I did the coaching online for a good number of years. Then eventually, to be honest with you, I got a bit fatigued with delivering those same sessions for so long. Granted, I was delivering the same principles, which I adapted depending on who the client was, but I was delivering pretty much the same stuff. And when you've done that for well over a decade, you get to a point where you think, maybe I could do a little change up here. So what I did was I took my in-person and Zoom coaching sessions and I simply recorded them as if I had somebody in the room with me. I uploaded those onto a platform and I gave clients access to those coaching sessions. So today, I no longer coach clients, I merely mentor them. They access my coaching sessions independent of me, and they check in with me every fortnight, either over Zoom for a live call where I mentor them based on any challenges, any insights they need, anything about what they've listened to on one of my coaching sessions, or celebrating their successes. And that's it. It's just mentoring every fortnight, and it works incredibly well. And it allows me enough time to be able to work on my other business, which is working with personal trainers who have got an interest in creating this type of program for themselves, be that face-to-face or indeed online. And if you are interested in that, click the link in the description. We can have a conversation about that. But the reason I said right at the beginning, stop being like other personal trainers. Don't be a copy and paste personal trainer. Had I have been a copy and paste personal trainer and gone down that particular path, there's no way I could have opened up a PT studio that was that successful. I don't think I'd have employed staff. I definitely couldn't have moved online as effortlessly as I did. And there's no way I could have recorded my coaching sessions, put them online for people to access independent of me and get paid for that, and get paid as much and arguably more than I would normally get paid face-to-face had I remained that copy and paste personal trainer. So I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on this, whether or not you think personal trainers should be moving more towards coaching as opposed to, mainly delivering the exercise and the nutrition, especially with the rise of AI where, most people now can go on to ChatGPT and with the right prompt, they can produce a pretty good exercise program and a pretty good diet plan as well. Whereas offering actual coaching, human interaction, human input, human feedback, AI still can't do that. And I think going forwards, this is where we as personal trainers can definitely differentiate ourselves. Yes, we can still use AI, but the human part of it, AI can't do that. And I think people out there are craving more than ever that human interaction with people like us as personal trainers. Again, I'd love to hear what your comments are. Please leave them below, and I try and answer as many comments as I possibly can.